everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group, family of companies. I don't know why I didn't want family of companies. But welcome to another episode of our podcast, and our podcast is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
Thank you very much.
Stop making me laugh.
And welcome to another episode, and this episode is Careful the Things You Say. How about that? Is that good?
I dared him to sing it.
Children will listen. So careful the things you say, because children will listen. It's actually one of our favorite songs on one of our albums that we listen to, because it's we got the big vinyl on the turntable. But actually, funny joke though. I bought an album for my brother, and he has a turntable, but he can't connect it to his stereo. Anyway, figuring that out. I know, right? Well, that's the 1970s meets the 2020s. Anyway, so it is very important, and this is it's not only careful things you say, but careful of the things you do.
Yes.
So that's also very important.
Yeah. So this is something Flip referenced it. This title came out of us listening to this album that we call soul music. And it's on our phones, not on a vinyl record.
It's actually a playlist.
It's a playlist. Sorry. Okay. It's a playlist. And we chose like all the songs that kind of feed us, and so this is one of them. And as we're thinking about podcast episodes one night, I think you had gone to bed and I'm just sitting in the kitchen, still listening to the, playlist and listening to songs. And this one came on and I was like, that's so powerful. We should talk about that. And it isn't, we don't have kids. So for us, it's not children. It is also, for our ears, most importantly, like every time you go, I'm an idiot or something, like, go ahead, stop it. Don't say that word. Like, don't speak to yourself that way. Right. But it's your family, your team, your friends, like anybody that is around you. The power of words, it's, the older we get, the more I realize how powerful that they are, and how the positive mindset can get you so much farther, because what you say to yourself, you subconsciously start believing, right? And if you subconsciously believe those things, then you believe you can do what you say you're going to do. And that's why many people have affirmations. And when they have affirmations, they will literally stand and Annie said this to me recently. I want you to belt it out as if you're speaking it to a audience of thousands. And I'm not that person. I'm not going to do that because it is so easy for me to put a sentence in my head, and I won't say it in the morning and the night as if it's a routine. I'll say it all day long. And so there was one that she had written out for me, and she said, this is what you should be telling yourself, right? And you and I have had multiple conversations now because of it. Not because I memorized it even. Like, I haven't even memorized it, but it's just so ingrained that I'm saying it all the time and thinking about it and brainstorming it. So I think that those things internally and externally just make an impact on who you are and who you become.
Oh, no, I completely agree. And it's funny because you're right. You yell at me if I ever say, I'm such an idiot, or I'm so dumb. So now I was like, I am so unintelligent in this situation. But it's also very important. It's not only the children and yourself, but it's family, friends, team members, and building these companies. It's all of a sudden we had one employee, Betty. And then we had 2, 3, 4, 5 employees, and all of a sudden they're really looking at you. And it was, I had to change my mindset, because now there's people watching me. And it's not like I changed my personality, because of this, but it made me more cognizant of what I'm doing and how I react to things and how I say things and how I answer things, because they're going to repeat. Yes. And I wrote this down because one of my favorite movies that I make her watch every year, right about July and August, when I'm in the dog days of summer, when I'm just dying for some football, I'll always start watching all the football movies that I love. And Remember the Titans is one of the ones that I like to watch a lot. And there's a scene in there where the defensive captain says to the other defensive captain, because I think they're co-captains, he said, something, he yells at him. He's like, what are you doing? You're acting like crap out there, and you're blah blah blah, you blah blah blah. And he just looks at him and says, attitude reflect leadership. And it was just like, oh, bam, snap. You know? But it's true, because the attitude will reflect the leadership. And so when you look at a company and you look at the employees, and that's their attitude is reflecting what their leadership is, what their bosses do, and what their bosses do.
Yeah.
And it's not just about football. Look, I tied football to business, honey.
Good job, baby.
Thank you. Thank you. But it's that one was like, wow.
Yeah.
So true.
Yep. And we've seen that in our own company. I mean, times when I was so incredibly stressed and wasn't really able to deal with everything with the right emotional intelligence. Like I even kept my door shut just so that people didn't have to be impacted by my stress levels.
Right.
But it still affected, the team. And so, I think that stuff like that is you sometimes have to learn it the hard way. But it's something that, is really, really important. And it's hard to remember when you are overwhelmed. That's one of those things that it's why you don't want to get overwhelmed, because these are the things that are really making the impact on you and your growth and your organization. And if you're overwhelmed, you forget about the simple stuff.
Right.
And this goes as far as I just wrote a note was like the mile a day. When you started doing a mile a day, you were posting about it on Facebook.
Yep.
Well, then one of our friends, Tanya, started doing a mile a day. And she just finished 365 days.
Yep.
Now she's doing a thank you card a day. And she's trying to inspire others to be grateful and tell other people, thank you for making an impact on my life, or doing something that I remember and it made me smile.
Yep.
And so that's careful the things you say. That's just being proactive about now going, hey, I want to be intentionally inspirational, and maybe not to motivate others, but it will, just as a natural byproduct.
Yeah, and even the mile a day thing, I didn't start doing that to inspire other people to do it.
Right.
I needed to start doing it.
Right.
And it was just I started posting about it. I didn't post about it, hey, I just did 10 miles. I would wait until it's like a milestone, like hey, I had 6 months in a row, now a mile a day, it's something big or whatever, so I wasn't being braggadocious about it, and definitely was blown away when she said, you inspired me to do it too. And I'm just like, wow, I didn't even mean that. But good job.
Yeah, and cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely the power of words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I am so unintelligent in that situation.
I don't even know if that's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Somebody needed to comment and rephrase that for Flip.
I'm so unsmart.
Stop it.
Just kidding. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading over to our website. Again, that's freedomcapitalinvestments.com to join the Investor Club. And this is where you're going to find out more information about the deals and stuff that we're doing. But again, we're on all the other social medias. And make sure you're hitting the like button. You're going to hit the like button because...
if you think the power of words is important.
There we go. The power of words. Hit the like button. But we like to end all of our episodes with...
invest smart.
Live happy. Bye, everybody. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.